everybody, it's Christine. Time for a process video, and if I've done myself right, which hopefully I didn't get my days mixed up again, I'm on day 28, and so this should be day 28 of Follow a Sketch February, and if not, I'll try to write it down below that I messed up and gave y'all the wrong day, but regardless, it's a sketch from Follow a Sketch February, and it came originally from Jenny G. Evans' blogspot for Fancy Pants. So she's got like these diagonal cuts here, and it looks like she did some stitching or drew stitching, and then there's a square photo with square little deal here in the tile and whatnot. And you could call these little either splatters or dots or something like that. So what I'm doing is I am trying to make my way through my October 2022 hit kit. And I had this in my bowl over here. I have a little bunch of photos in my bowl. And I kind of went through the papers, and these two here, there's still more, but these two here were kind of complementary. They're purple, or kind of purpley, lavendery with pink. And this has little stripes already in it. So I think what I'm going to do is cut these stripes apart so I can lay them like this. And then I'm going to have to find photo mats. I have this little color here, which may work kind of, but I've got this. I did get into a Cocoa Vanilla Daydream, like laser cut titles, because the hip kit has these gold ones. I don't think the font that comes with hip kit is going to really go in the way I would like it to, because it's kind of this green, and with the purple it's not going to be right. So I'm not going to use these for this. So that's why and I thought maybe this, but the words on here don't really make sense. I mean, I could have used maybe memory, but I'm not sure about that. So I may end up using some of the leaves or something. I'll see. But that's not really shown, so probably not. So this is where I got the title. So I'm going to set that aside. But what I did really like is all the little frames, because it had the squares behind the picture. So I'm going to try to use up some of these frames with this. And I haven't figured that quite out yet. But there's like this pink, and then there's this purple. Maybe the yellow. Not really sure. We'll have to see. And then, of course, there's chipboard flowers and stuff like that. So that's some of my goal. And then there was one little other ephemera frame. So I'm going to try to make all this work. There's not much other ephemera that works, though. Because like Apple Pieces and Autumn and Good Company, this might be working. This might work. Stay Warm, This is kind of cute. A little Cocoa might work. I don't know about the pumpkin spice and everything nice. So these might work. I'm going to set these aside in case I want to use them. And then I think I pulled this out maybe to mat the photo is what I was kind of thinking. There's a yellow. I don't know if I want to introduce a bunch of colors though. So this might have to do. I think that's all I got to say for the moment. Let me cut this, and then I want to cut these stripes apart, and I'll come back on in a second. All right. Okay, gang, here we go. So the first thing I do, I cut all my little stripes up, and I started to lay them down there, and honestly, my eyes were like, that's not really the right angle, Christine. So I got this idea to use washi tape to go from corner to corner, and then it was going to help me make sure my angles are right. Now, the cat decides she has to chew on the washi tape, so I'll have to pay attention to her because she's terrible. Do y'all have cats? And if so, do your cats want to eat your washi tape? I kind of catch her finding rolls and stuff all the time and gnawing on them. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why is that attractive to you? Anyway, so I decided to use that washi tape to kind of set that first angle. And then I'm going to come along. Now, I don't put that many. Another one's going to come off here in just a second, because when I look at the sketch, I realize that's a little too many stripes. So I'll have to back that off just a hair. But that's how I'm going to do that, y'all. I'm going to there we go. We pulled that one off. So that's how that's going to go. I'm not going to show you just me gluing them down and cutting them and whatnot, because all I did is I glued them down, and then I took my X-Acto knife with a little straight ruler and kind of cut the edges. Now, I've mentioned before, I don't do stitching, and it looked to me like the sketch had stitching. But y'all, I don't know what made me think of it, but I realized, hey, I've got this little Stampin' Up tool over on my shelf over there. And I've had it 100 years, and if I've used that thing 5 times, I'd be shocked. But the little tool here has all these little holes in it. It came with a little pad. It came with a little, you can see my little poker there. And if you read on it, this little edge here, it talks about it being paper piercing holes for like stitching or whatever. It actually also has a couple of spots, the bigger holes there, say something like small eyelet setting and stuff. So that was from back in the day whenever you used to hammer your eyelets in. I think it was before Crocodile came along. So if you happen to have one of those, I know eyelets are not really in fashion anymore. In fact, I see them sometimes being a challenge item, because I'm certain we all have 10,000 of those things if we've been around any length of time. and we're not using them anymore for whatever reason. So, but this little guy here has all these little holes, and I thought, well, I'm going to do that instead of stitching. And I'm really proud of that decision. I think that turned out real neat. It's got them little holes in there. So now I've got my things glued down. I got my little holes where the stitching was kind of shown. And now this is where I'm going to start fiddle-farting around with these frames. And y'all, I start to kind of mess up because they're sticky, okay? And I start to try to stick them, and then I'm kind of getting myself a little discombobulated here because I start pulling them off. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to organize them. And I'm going, how am I going to do this without sticking it to the paper? So then I set one to the side, and I think, okay, what if I try to put her on top? And then I'm trying to do it up in the air. Y'all, I'm just being ridiculous, honestly. And in a second, I'm going to wise up and pick up a piece of wax paper. I go, Christine, what are you doing? So I grab my little wax paper. And what I want to do is the sketch had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 little frames. It wasn't a ton, but I have several here. And I'm thinking, I'm going to offset these, kind of build layers around them. And I kind of needed to be able to see what was going to happen because I go, if I put them too close together, I won't be able to see where they're going to be. So I'm leaving all this in here so y'all can kind of see, I don't know, I guess how my brain works sometimes. And I'm clumsy too. So I'm trying to stick stuff down. Now the one little frame has like the same pattern as the paper, which is kind of this purple with these little pink dots. Now it's a little bit smaller scale. It's kind of squished a little bit. And it has the word thankful on it. And I didn't mind it at first. I thought, well, I might let thankful be on there. But you'll see eventually I'm not going to leave it where you can see it. I'll cover it up. But right now I'm just trying to organize these things. Now I'm realizing that I've kind of got chipboard on top of chipboard because these frames are chipboard with the exception of that lower left one there. I'm just trying to organize these just a little bit better, kind of space it out. And so in a second, I'm going to take my scissors, and I think I'll leave this in here too so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's this picture going to lay on it, and I'm going to snip these things to try to take some of the thickness out. Now I do still end up with a little bit of thickness because one's laying over top of another here, but this helps a little bit. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this out, and then I'm going to cut the other piece out. So give me 1 second. And I kind of set them aside because I think to myself, well, I might can use these again. We'll see. So I'm going to cut this layer here, the little yellow one. Now there's little gold dots around the inside, and I kind of turned it upside down. If you notice, it's if you're thinking of a Polaroid, I've got the yellow frame upside down, but I thought that looked okay because on the sketch she had, I guess it was a little top, a little top coming out of it. So I'm liking this, and you're going to see me kind of fart with this because I'm thinking, okay, I've got these cut, but my picture here is, if I lay it on there, it's kind of gappy and it's not exactly right. So I'm thinking, well, how am I going to get this done? Because I want to put foam where these frames aren't. But that's a trick, y'all, because I'm going, well, I can't see the frame. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I can come from here and use a pencil. And I thought, well, that's just silly. So then I set it down, and I take a pencil, and I mark where the picture is, and then I'll take my foam tape in between. I was kind of proud of that little technique. I'm not unhappy with how I figured that piece out because it did take me a minute. Y'all just watch me. I'm just crazy. The picture, there's not much of a story to the picture, if I'm honest. My daughter is always good about sending me these just cute little selfies. She is a friggin' selfie queen, man. I tell you what, I don't know how she finds the light or the angles or whatever. If I take them, I look like a goddamn potato or Jabba the Hutt. And she always looks like a model in all of her selfies. And I'm a little jealous, if I'm honest. Whenever we take selfies as she and I'll like, you need to do it. Because she does it at the right angle. If I do it, my face is crooked. Anyway, so here's where I'm marking the little pencil. And I'm thinking, okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this foam tape in between where those pencil marks are. And then this way, when I lay my picture down on top of it, it's going to have the what am I trying to say? The same height or depth or whatever as the little chipboard pieces. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And let me see. I'm going to pull this off. You can kind of see I have "You Are Beautiful" on there, laid there. I think about putting it up on foam tape, but on the other hand, I've got all these other things with their layers, and I thought, no, I'm going to leave it a little bit flat. So I will glue this down kind of flat. But I first decide, what do I do first, y'all? There's some arrows and stuff on the sketch. I don't end up with any arrows, but there are these pretty little florals and stuff on the chipboard. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use these pretty florals. But first I pick up these ephemera because I'm thinking, y'all, I messed with this darn teacup. I got real aggravated with it. The little piece wouldn't come out, and I kind of got annoyed because I finally pulled the scissors out in a second. I'm like, you little stinker. But I get it, and I think I'm going to cover up the thankful word on the bottom of this thing. I didn't know for sure I was going to do that, but then I kind of set those there, and I thought, well, that's kind of cute. And it's kind of like her. I mean, she likes little hot chocolates and I don't know, and notepads and things. And I just thought, well, this is kind of cute, and it goes with the kit, and it's going to cover up the word thankful. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if it were there, because it's not like I'm not thankful for her. But by the same token, I had "You Are Beautiful," and I'm not really certain that that was the exact right thing to go with that. So I'm happy to have covered it up. And I like these little pieces of ephemera. And I just used my ATG, which, by the way, my ATG arrived. I don't know. I'm not allowed to sequence here, y'all. I make these videos, and now I don't know when I said it, but I had run out of ATG, and now I've got some. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to glue down the title. And then in a second, I think is when I'm going to figure out I want to use some of my little chipboard pieces. But I don't use the arrows that are on the sketch. I just decided that I don't, well, first off, I don't have any with this collection. There wasn't anything I had. I'd have had to go found something, and I really didn't feel like doing that. So I'm going to glue my title down. That looks really cute, I think. And then I go, oh, you know what? There's this pretty little floral here. So I'm going to stick that right there. I'm going to tuck it down inside behind beautiful, and I like how that looks. And then I thought, you know, there's this other floral, and it looks exactly the same as what's on the frame here. So I'm going to just cover that up and make it bigger. And then I have one more floral, so I'm going to put that over on that side there, and I think that looks really pretty. I'm happy with that. And y'all, that's really, I'm going to pull these little matte enamel dots out, and I'm going to basically put it where the sketch showed it. I just almost copied the sketches, little placements and stuff, identical. And I look at this thing and I think, well, should I do anything else to it? I contemplated writing the date and stuff at the bottom, and I may still do that in white pen. But honestly, I kind of like the simplicity of this one. I just thought it was really, it's just soft and pretty, and there's enough going on. Your eyes are looking at it, but it's like, it's nice and simple too. And sometimes we need those, right? So that is all I'm going to do. I don't do anything else, at least not yet. I may or may not put her name on there. I don't really know. But that's it. Here's the slowdown. You can see the details. It did take me a little bit to glue that thing down and poke them holes and do the frame. So it's not like it didn't take me some time. It's just a simple design at the end, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Watch for my layout share. I'll have that. And then March, y'all, is 30 days of sketches. So I should have a video every day. That's my goal. Oh, that's always a challenge, but I love it. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.